Alrighty, let's do a walk around to this 2015 Ford Fiesta ST. This model came out in 2014 and carries over into 2015 with just a few slight changes. The interesting thing about this car is it's really the only car in the subcompact class that you can get with a real high performance option, the ST package, which includes a heavily turbocharged 21 pounds of boost version of Ford's 1.6 liter engine, and it makes 197 horsepower in this application, which is pretty tremendous for a small car like this. There really isn't anything else that's at all comparable, certainly not for the money and certainly not for the size. Chevy offers an RS version of the Sonic, but it's basically an appearance package and a handling package. It uses the same engine that's available in other versions of that car, and the same goes across the line for cars like the Mazda 2. There isn't yet a speed version of that car. You can go to something larger like the Honda Civic Si, but then you've got a larger car and you've also got a more expensive car. Or you can go for a coupe, something like the Mini Cooper S or the Fiat 500 Abarth, but again, they're two doors, which limits their practicality. The Fiat has roughly the same backseat space as this car does. However, you've got these doors, which means that people can get into and out of the back seats without the front seat passengers having to first get out and then roll the seat forward, fold it down so that they can get in and out. That's one of the nice features about this car. But to me, the really attractive feature of this car, the thing that brought to mind memories of the original muscle car era, is that it's affordable. People look at cars like this and say, oh, it's 4 cylinders and it's front-wheel drive, but the fact of the matter is it's got a lot in common conceptually with the first muscle cars. The 64 GTO was based on the Pontiac Tempest, which was at that time considered a compact and an inexpensive car. Pontiac put a high-performance drivetrain into the thing and offered it at a price point that people in their late teens and early 20s could afford to buy. And that's the case here. As much as I like cars like the new Camaro and the Mustang GT and the Challenger, the truth of the matter is that, for the most part, you have to be a pretty well-established guy or girl, well into your career, have some money. Those cars all are in the $30,000 and up range. Typically, they end up costing close to $40,000 to buy. And of course, you've got that nice big V8 that has a nice big appetite for gas. Costs $70 to fill the thing up, and they burn through that gas pretty quickly, and the insurance is a nightmare, particularly if you're 25 or less. God help you then. Whereas this car, it's $21,000, a little more than $21,000 to buy it, which is very accessible. Pretty much anybody who has a decent job can afford to buy it. It gets very good gas mileage, 35 on the highway. In fact, the mileage of this car is virtually the same as the base Fiesta with the base 1.6 engine, yet you get all this additional performance. So you can afford to buy it, and like the original muscle cars, you will have money left over to modify the car. You could put on, I don't know, adjustable wastegate for the turbo maybe, an intercooler, who knows. The point being that you'll have the money to be able to actually modify the car, and that was a key element of the original muscle car era. People didn't just buy those things and drive them. They typically bought them, modified them, made them quicker, made them handle better, made them faster. Let's take a quick look inside. Oh, before we go inside, also you get upgraded brakes with this car. You can see that there, the red powder coated. This particular car has an optional wheel. It's not an optional size, but it's kind of silver powder coated, and that's an option. But the standard wheels are very aggressive summer tires, low aspect ratio, short sidewall. The handling is really tight, really phenomenal. This car also has the optional Recaro package. It's about $2,000, a bit less, and you get these Recaro sport buckets, which the only thing about them is if you're a fairly big guy, and I'm not a big fat guy, but I'm 6'3" and about 200 pounds, and when I stick myself in here, oh man, it is a tight squeeze. It's great for track days, but it's tight. I'm not sure that I'd get them if I were to order the car for myself, or at least if I got them. I think I'd probably try and lose 10 pounds first. All right, let me close the door and show you the only thing I really don't like about this car. Well, let me tell you, the one thing I do like, manual transmission only. This car is not sold with an automatic, which is kind of nice. And let me kick her to life here. I don't like that obnoxious little buzzer that Ford has either. Deedle-dee, deedle-dee, deedle-dee. I wish they would shut that off. But the only thing I don't like, you've got this 6.5-inch LCD display screen, you've got this little mouse input control, and it's just kind of clunky and awkward. The numbers and the letterings and so on are all really small. There's not a whole lot of information that they can squeeze onto that screen. And using this to get it to go back and forth, I found to be a little bit difficult, a little bit frustrating. Like, for example, it's done this the entire week that I've had it. It just says connecting phone, and if I want to turn on the satellite radio, which is standard with this car, I sometimes find I have to turn this thing off and on and off and on to get it to cycle, to get it to kick on the satellite. But that's really just about the only complaint that I could have, that I could level at this car. It's got a very, very nice, not cheap looking interior at all. I mean, for the price point, it's remarkable what you can get for about $20,000 these days. Let me kick off the ignition here and come back outside again. You can fit a surprising amount of stuff in a car like this, though it's very small. Kick open this back hatchback. I carted home about 8 25-pound bags of cat litter back here without any problem. And that's pretty solid. And you've got this additional space underneath here, and they've got your space saver tire. It's really a practical little car. The four-door layout is very versatile. Of course, it's different than the usually two-door muscle cars of the classic era. But again, it makes the car more practical, more viable. And there really isn't anything else that you can get that's close to this. The combination of the power for the price at this size point. The full review is up at epautos.com. Please stop by, leave your comments, yay or nay. Let me know if I left anything out. And also, please send us your videos of crappy drivers. We'll post them at epautos.com and also at clovercam.com. And we'll catch up with you soon.